Hello everyone, nice to see you. It's Tuesday, which is lovely. Let me just get you guys up here. Look, I still got wet hair from where I washed it this morning, which isn't a great look, is it? But anyway, that'll do for today. You're lucky I'm not in my pyjamas, quite frankly. So that'll be it for today. How are you? What have you all been up to over the last day since I spoke to you yesterday? What have I been up to? I had a panto meeting last night. Believe it or not, we are actually sorting out panto already, which is just a bit of madness. And hoping that we can do it, hoping that by December, you know, enough of the vaccine will have rolled out so that actually we can do panto, which would be good. So if anyone's got a bit more of a dramatic flair for the arts, then do give us a shout or head on over to Tunbridge Community Panto because they've got some amazing stuff going on. What else do I need to tell you? I went for a walk this morning in the park. That was rather lovely. It was very drizzly, but it was quite warm. We live near Grosvenor and Hilbert Park. If anybody is in the kind of Tunbridge Wells area, it's a really lovely park to go and have a wander down. It's gorgeous, actually. It's really beautiful. What else have I been doing? And catching up on to-do lists, really, and starting new ones. There's always more things to add to a to-do list. So yeah, I've got list upon list upon list. Who have we got? Hello, Jane. Nice to see you joining us. Excellent stuff. Fabulous. So we're going to do watercolour painting today. And actually, I must check the colours that I've got in this one. Oh yeah, it's fine. So I thought what we'd do is a mountain today. But the kind of like the side of it, where one side, a little bit like we did yesterday with the penguin, where we left those gaps, those white gaps to kind of build in the shape of something. We're going to do that, but with the mountain, where one side is like snow and it's got the light reflecting off of it. So it's just going to be white. We're just going to leave that white. So we're going to paint the other side of it. So we're kind of going to leave some gaps like that. So I'm going to use quite a nice lot of colours. So I'm going to use kind of blues and a little bit of orange to go in there as well. Maybe some browns. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So hopefully you've all got your watercolour paper. Hopefully you've all got your water jar and your paint brushes. Hello, Sapphire, you're here again. Lovely to have you with us. Excellent stuff. Once again, I apologise for my just washed hair being a right mess. Right, so I'm going to use the same kind of brush that I did yesterday. So it's not a massive brush. It's a fairly small one, really, with lots of different watercolour paints, which is going to be great. So I'm going to use lots of different colours. Sorry, I can just hear my husband playing really loud music in the other room, which is very frustrating. But anyway, so I'm going to go portrait with our piece of paper and pop that down, and then lower you guys down so that you can see what I'm up to and what I'm doing. All right, so hopefully, there we go. If you haven't, like I said before, if you haven't got watercolour paper, the whole point of it is that it's absorbent of the water, so just don't use as much water is what I would say. So having said that, I've got a small brush. I am actually going to go for, I've got a slightly bigger brush here that's a nice flat edge that I'm just going to use just for the sky, because I'm just going to put a little bit of the sky in. So I'm just going to mix up quite a watery, and I'm not really doing any sort of colour mixing today. I'm just using it straight from the palette. Colour mixing is really, really important in all kinds of painting, but when you've only got about 15-20 minutes to do it, it goes out the window. So I'm just going to leave a bit of a gap here. This is going to be the top of our mountain here, so I'm just kind of, I don't really want that. There we go. That's a good shape. And then I'm going to have a kind of another mountain coming off here. So all of this bit I'm going to paint in that lovely blue that I've made up, so it's just really light blue. And then I'm probably going to streak some other colours in with it as well. So hopefully you guys can see that colour coming up. It's quite pale blue. While it's still wet, I'm going to rinse off my brush completely, and then I'm just going to bring some water up to this edge here so that we don't get too harsh an edge. So it kind of fades away to white. And then I might just streak through just a couple of darker blues and just let the water really allow that to just seep in, sink in. I might use slightly darker blue actually. There we go, that's the blue that I want. So just literally streaking it, because even when we look at a blue sky, it's actually not as even as you think it is. So I'm just, again, going to use the brush to just blend that in a little bit more. So we've got those kind of patches of that lovely dark colour there. There we go. And then what you can do, if you're kind of worried about sort of cloud formations and that kind of thing, what you can do is when it's just drying a little bit, is actually drop in just some water. So just no paint, just drop in little bits of water on top, and it just disperses it a little bit to just look like clouds. I might just start using my smaller brush again now. There we go. So I'm just gonna add a little bit in there. Woo! That's going off the edge there. There we go, and a little bit there. And you'll see as it dries, it just gives that kind of cloud type. I'm going to put my water pot on the edge there because I don't want that to start bending. Right, there we go. So starting with the mountain, we're going to paint mainly this side. This side's all going to be kind of white really, apart from maybe a little shadow in there that we'll do with a bit of water and blue. So I'm going to start with the blue actually. I'm going to start with this kind of really nice deep blue, and I'm just going to mark out our edge there. I might have another little craggy bit in the rock there. I'm just gonna kind of cross there as well actually. There we go. So that's kind of my line there. So it kind of comes down across and there. And I've just tried to make it not look so straight. You just don't want a straight line to it, basically. So I'm just going to add in a few kind of blue bits, and I'm literally going to bring them down like this. So I'm almost dragging them down this side of the mountain. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same with some other colours. And you can see that I'm almost treating them like a bit like branches. I'm going to put some deep colours in here because we're going to have a nice bit of shadow in there. I'm going to put a nice bit of blue in there. I'm just, yeah, almost dragging them off like kind of branches really. Maybe a couple more off there. There we go. Be a bit happy with that. And then I might add in just a little bit of kind of grey. Make sure I've got plenty of water with that one. And just, that's more black than grey. There we go, more water. And just add in that across the ravine there. There we go. And then I am going to go for like a real nice bright orange in here as well. Really bring it out. I'm working fairly quickly because I want it to kind of stay wet. If anyone's got any questions or anything, do comment with anything that you might want to ask. I'm just going to kind of feather off those lines at the end there, maybe with the blue as well. Right, let's go for my nice orange. Actually, I used the orange yesterday as well, didn't I? In the penguin's feet. I'll use that up here. And it doesn't matter if they're blending into each other, that's exactly what we want. I might do a nice big chunk up here actually. And a little bit over here. And you can see that we're really starting to kind of get the shape of that mountain coming down. If I turn it around that way, you can see probably a bit better. Yeah, so you can see that all that snow-covered mountain all up here, and then it's really coming down that side. And then I might use just a little bit of brown as well. Quite a deep brown, sort of murky brown. Just to tie some of that in. Oh, maybe a bit darker than that actually. There we go. That's better. And just to kind of pick up that orange as well. That brown will be lovely. Maybe along here. And you can see that I'm not being too precious about where these lines are blending or rolling over kind of one to the other. There we go. Definitely add that deep brown into there and get a nice shadow going on. Just add a few little bits there. And then I am, just to balance it out, I'm going to add some of the blue up there as well. Hitting some of that deeper blue and just sort of speckle it around. There we go. When mixed with the brown, actually, it makes quite a nice grey. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is just kind of using that blue that we did for the sky, very watered down. I'm just almost going to create a shadow here. So again, you can see that I've got that kind of quite a nice hard line there. But I'm going to rinse the brush and use the water to just feed into that bit there. So the rest of it goes quite watery and not so harsh. So it just, the blue just fades out. So it's just a little shadow on the snow there. And I might just bring that in to a nice thin bit there. There we go. I'm happier with that now. Now, if you want to, I'm actually not going to do it because I don't have too much room because I've done it on quite a small piece of paper. But if you want to, you could also splatter some colours down here. I might give it a go actually. Let me see if I can get some on. So I'm just literally going to splatter some of the blue. Now what you've got to be really careful of is to not get any on here, which I am likely to do because I'm a klutz. There we go. Let's just splatter some of that. The brown as well as the blue, and then just a little bit of grey. It just helps bring in the whole thing. I'm getting dangerously close to that white snow there, which I don't want to do. And a tiny bit of the orange there as well. There we go. So I'm quite pleased with that. What about you guys? I quite like that little mountain. Snow-capped mountain, or at least on one side, with that really quite nice sky in there as well. I'm really pleased with that. So I can't wait to see yours. When you've finished, do take a picture. Even if you're watching this later on, do take a picture and post it because it's lovely to see your versions. And that's all they are. You know, they don't have to look exactly the same. You might have different colours in your palette. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's your version of what we're painting. All right. If you want to watch this again, obviously it will be saved to our Facebook page. So please do make use of it. Tomorrow we're watercolour paints again. So you'll just need your paints, your brushes, water jar and watercolour paper. I'm hopefully going to do something that's a bit more like an illustrative design tomorrow. We're going back to trees again, I'm afraid. But thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for coming along. If anyone feels they are able to, please do donate to Arty Farty Retreat. I will stick a comment in the box below. But just share it if you can't afford to donate. Every little helps at the moment, keeping this little business and this creative dream alive so that we can meet up again, hopefully in the not too distant future. Have a very good rest of the day. I will see you all tomorrow at 1 PM. Have fun, guys.